And I do want to tell your investors out there that for every dollar that you add on to the bottom line, there's a valuation multiplier. So if somebody walks out of your condo or your apartment or your house and they owe you $5,000, the multiplier in your industry might be up to 10. That could be $40,000 of valuation on your company. It's not 4,000 I'm chasing. I'm chasing $40,000 worth of your valuation.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Mitchell Drimmer, is in the condo collections and rental recovery space, modernizing community association collections with Axela. Mitch, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me on the show, Dylan. It's a pleasure to be here today.
I always like to start off at the top of these shows by asking guests how they got into the space that they're in. How'd you get into the collection space?
It's an interesting question. For 38 years, from the time I was 12 years old till the time I was 53 or something like that, I lived in New York. I lived in New York all my life. I was in the garment center. I was a manufacturer. I was a shipper. I was in logistics. The garment business went the way of the dodo in the United States. And so it was time for me to move on. So I moved to Florida. If I'm not going to have a business, at least let me be someplace where it's warm. And then I told my wife, well, I'm 53, I'm retiring. She says, no, you're not retiring. I'm not going to be making lunch for you for the next 60 years. So what did I do? They have schools here in Florida called Gold Coast. And they're real estate schools where you could get, in Florida, you could become a community association manager. That's one of the courses. And you could become a real estate broker or a real estate sales associate or realtor if you join the Realtors Association. So I went to the school and I got myself a whole bunch of education. And it was 2008. And I saw that the whole world was melting down and crashing, and I didn't own any real estate. I didn't have any dog in that fight. So when you see a crisis like that, that is nothing more than opportunity condensed. To make a long story shorter, I met some folks, some young fellows your age in their 30s, and they decided they came up with a business opportunity where for community associations, HOAs, and condos, that we would, instead of doing the collections, we would fund them the money. We would actually do their accounts receivable servicing. And when the time of the month is where they would receive all of their money, We would give them exactly what they were budgeted for. We were replicating a perfect cash flow scenario for community associations.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
After a couple of years, and we were very successful in that because it was a good business model, but the guys began to get a little predatory. All right. And I had a crisis of conscience.
Yep.
And I went and I opened up my own company with a partner. Well, he opened up the company. He brought me in. I was the founding employee number one. And I learned from the other company what not to do and how to do collections, not funding people, because I'm not going to fund somebody who made mistakes, didn't have adequate budgets, but we're going to fund them. We're going to do collections for them because in HOAs and condos, the only collections that get done are lawyers foreclosing on people's homes. And that's wrong. That's fundamentally wrong unless it's needed and desperate. It should be the last desperate attempt to collect in HOAs and condos. And it's been 8 years now since we started this company. We've got a tremendous valuation. And we're so successful that a lot of management companies also have multifamily and rental. So we have like a 98% success rate, but it's secured debt. So, I'm not that great of a hero. But they said, if you're so good at this, why can't you use your technology? Because Axela is a technology company and we have a collection side to our business. Why not use it for rental? And so that's how I got involved in recovery, asset recovery for rentals, post-eviction and post-skips, and for condos when people are delinquent on their assessments. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, Dylan.
In the evictions space, I wasn't aware that investors, apartment complexes can recoup their funds. Is that common? Is that uncommon? Are they able to secure or are they able to recoup some of their funds post-eviction?
Absolutely. They have a written contract. They have a lease. They have a legal obligation. And as a matter of fact, investors tend to poo-poo it, thinking just like you. Look, you're on a real estate podcast, and the industry, and this is the first you're hearing of it. So again, I must be in demand. But what we do is remember, it's not secured debt; it's unsecured debt. So we have to trace them down. We have to call them. We have to be very, very insistent on getting paid. And do we have the success rate that we have with HOAs and condos? Absolutely not. But we do have a success rate. And I do want to tell your investors out there that for every dollar that you add on to the bottom line, there's a valuation multiplier. So if somebody walks out of your condo or your apartment or your house and they owe you $5,000, the multiplier in your industry might be up to 10. That could be $40,000 of valuation on your company. It's not 4,000 I'm chasing. I'm chasing $40,000 worth of your valuation. And so, I would like people who are in the rental business, who are in the multifamily or residential business. And if you got any HOAs, send them over to me too. But my rent recovery is very helpful. And again, I'll tell you, a lot of people ask me, what's your success rate? And I says, well, if you don't put anything into collections, it's greater than zero. And that's all I could tell you right now.
That's right.
It's greater than zero. And why not? There's
When we
no
talk,
cost. No cost. Carry on, Dylan.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
when we talk about HOA versus rental recovery, when I think about rental recovery, I'm thinking, gosh, that's got to be tricky because these people are effectively not tied to the property in any way any longer, unless they're being told, hey, this is going to hurt your chances more than it already has to secure another apartment or some other course of action that would get them or motivate them to start making some type of payment. HOA is different though, because HOA, they're living there now. So if they don't start paying their fees, they're going to be out. What's your approach and what makes Axela different on the HOA side?
Well, on the HOA side, what we do not do is what the attorneys do. We do not go straight to lien and foreclosure. What we do is we do an underwriting, we ascertain the fact pattern, we find out how much equity is in the unit. And that's an important number to know, because when our callers call people, they're not saying, oh, you owe $3,000. They're saying you have $100,000 worth of equity in your home. You owe $3,000. The association has the right to do a civil seizure and foreclose and sell your house to recoup that $3,000, but you're going to be out $100,000 worth of equity. Let's do something to get you stood up. Let's do something to protect the equity in your home, your condo, or co-op, whatever it may be. So again, we bring reason. People do not know where they stand financially in many cases. People don't know how much their own personal worth is. I know how much my apartment is worth, the equity in my apartment, down to the last dime. All right. But a lot of people don't.
When we talk about HOA collections, how often is it come to, people having to get removed because they're not paying HOA fees? Is that common? Is that uncommon?
Well, if you use my company, it'll only happen less than 1% of the time. But if your HOA or condo engages an attorney, then the attorneys will look to move forward with a foreclosure action. Attorneys get paid by the hour. They don't get paid by the resolution. I get paid by the resolution. I don't recover my money, my cost, my profit, my fees, unless the association is paid. But an attorney, win, lose, or draw, they're going to send you a bill. And they
Right.
like to prolong things. Every time you call them, it's a $75 phone call. Every time you ask for a report, there's money. Their interests are not aligned with the association. My interests are aligned. I'm not contingency based. I'm merit based. I charge fees that are passed through to the delinquent owner. I don't take a percentage. But if I can't collect the fees, my fees from the delinquent owner, then the association doesn't have to pay me.
I
So
want to
again, it's a winner.
I want to pivot a bit here and ask you about HOA fees in general. I'm a Texas licensed realtor. I know that fees will vary depending on where you at,
Of
but I
course.
know that HOA fees can be nominal to substantial. Do you see more delinquencies in the substantial area when it may be multiple hundreds of dollars a month in HOA fees, or do you see more when it's maybe a smaller amount and people may be struggling to make their payments in general?
That's a great question, because you want to know something? I see delinquencies. People call me up. I say, well, especially in Texas, a lot in Texas, because you have HOAs that don't have front gates, they don't have pools, they don't have clubhouses. So what's the common fees for? Landscaping, maybe, or some electrical lights or something like that. So they're HOA dues, and they're large scale associations, 3,000 units. So all they need is $100 a year.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And I get many people who will not pay that $100 a year. You can't get a Happy Meal in McDonald's for
Yeah.
$100 a year. And again, you don't want to foreclose on somebody. Remember, there's a statute of limitations. So if the statute of limitations is 6 years, I'm not taking somebody's home for $600. But I am calling them, I am texting them, I'm putting an encumbrance on their home, I'm putting a lien on their home. If
Yeah.
it's $600 or under it, I'm not going to, for two reasons. Number one, it's wrong. It's ethically elastic. Number two, if you walk into a court, even though legally you have a right to your security interest, the HOA, a judge is going to look at this. Instead of ruling in law, they may rule in equity and say, how are you taking somebody's home away for $800? And that's why there's
Yeah.
so many HOA haters out there. If you go through every few months in the newspaper, every few weeks, there's always a story. HOA evicts Iraqi veteran for $800 or something like that. And they get a
that'll make
bad
it
rap for that. And so what we do is we engage people. We call them. We're allowed to call them, according to the FDCPA, 7 times every 7 days, and we will exhaust that with text messages, with emails, with phone calls. Filing a lien, we will even report them to a Fannie Mae, to their bank, because when you do not pay your assessments in an HOA, you're in breach of your mortgage agreement, and you're going to hear from your bank. And sometimes the banks will pay. That's HOAs and condos. Co-ops, it's a different thing. And of course, rental. Well, rental is just you just send me into the room. I throw a lot of spaghetti on the wall. Whatever sticks, I return back to you, and you make your money. But again, a lot of people who are in the HOA space, they'll use some software like Buildium. I'm sure you're familiar with Buildium.
I haven't heard
Build-
about it, but I can imagine. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
Buildium and there's Appfolio that does HOA,
Yeah.
and it does condo stuff. So a lot of these people a lot of management companies, real estate offices that do multifamily and residential will also do property management for HOAs and condos, and we service them, and that's how they learn about us, and that's why we were kind of like we were forced into doing rental recovery, and it's been pretty successful.
And
I
not
have
easy.
a
Yeah.
It's not easy, but I have a success rate so far. I don't have a great sample size because we just rolled it out about 6 months or 9 months ago, but we got a success rate of about 8%, which is pretty darn good. That's 8%.
For people
That's
not living
8%.
there, that's impressive.
That's 8% of money that not just goes to the bottom line, but gets multiplied and goes to the valuation of the corporation, of the management company. But one of the most important things I tell managers, property managers, and real estate people is that you rented somebody out a unit, you underwrote them, and then they screwed, or excuse my language, then they did not pay your owner, your investor. And guess who's in trouble? You're in trouble. You're being blamed for it. So if I even can't get the money, the fact that you would take it, give it to a collection agency, get multiple reports, daily reports on activity and trying, you're showing that you care. You're showing your investor that you care. You're showing your client, yes, I made a mistake, but penitence is part of forgiveness,
I'm
and the
trying.
penitence is trying to collect that money. So again, it serves two purposes. Maybe I'll get the money, but the second purpose is You, as the property manager, as a real estate broker, are trying to do the best for your customer.
I want to ask you a question about HOAs. We are coming up on time, but this is a question that I haven't had someone to ask because I didn't have a guest that had enough experience with such a sample size. But you've done HOA collections all over the country. I'm
As a matter
originally
of fact, you've even written a book here, The Art of Collections for HOAs by Mitchell Drimmer. It's a real book. Okay.
There we go.
You're telling me I had to plug my book. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. We'll have you plug it again when we're wrapping up here. But when we talk about HOAs, I am licensed in Texas. HOAs are all over the place in new subdivisions and established throughout Texas. But I'm from northern New Jersey, about 31 miles outside of New York City. There's really no HOAs or very sparse HOAs that I'm aware of.
Correct.
Whole idea behind HOAs is that you can keep the area clean. You're eliminating potential signs of distress that would deflate the value of real estate, which seems to be a good thing. But on the flip side, I can say, the area that I'm from in northern New Jersey, there's no HOA fees, but simply because of proximity to a major metro, the properties appreciate in value like crazy. What's your general opinion of how effective HOAs are in maintaining and appreciating property values?
Well, HOA is a blessing indeed. They have rules and regulations. You have recourse. If you have a beautiful home that you paid $750,000, and right next door to you, there's some guy who's got he's got a pickup truck on some cinder blocks, and you have a wedding, your daughter's wedding. How's that look? All right. So for quality of life, for improving your property and protecting your property values, nothing beats an HOA. Nothing beats a well-run HOA. Let me put it that way. A well-run HOA protects your property values, keeps your neighborhood clean, provides security, provides amenities. It's a great way to live, not just for people my age, but even for people your age, people starting with families.
Yeah.
So I'm very high on HOAs and condos, and I think that it's a good way to live. It's a lot of HOA haters out there, but that's because they didn't obey the rules and they got in trouble and they stubbed their toe in the HOA and something happened.
They
But
got
let
on
me
the
tell
wrong
you,
side of the HOA.
that's it. So I want to give a shout out to Community Association Industry, my the industry that supports HOAs and does all of our legal advocacy. And I want to promote HOAs because I think it's a great way to live.
We are coming up on time here, Mitch. Where can folks go to learn more about Axela, to reach out to you, the book, right? How can folks get in contact with you and find more about what you're doing?
Axela, AXELA.com. And here's something, my cell phone number. I'm glad to talk to anybody at a reasonable time. 786-832-9849. We serve all 51 states and the District of 50 states and the District of Columbia. And it's no cost, no risk, and very effective. And we get your money up front. Axela Technologies. We have a collections entity, and it's transparency. You know what's happening. And again, highly recommended. Very, very successful. And we'd love to serve your community associations.
Mitch, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.